Hey everybody! Okay, so I just did a video over how to go diamond in 30 days, your mindset, and changing the game and everything. And another thing I wanted to go over tonight, I've had a lot of people come into me about it, is excuses. I think something that really contributed to me going diamond and in 30 days and presidential diamond in 4 months was my mindset. And so I kind of wanted to share with you guys my story and how I promoted that fast. When I first started, I started in April of 2015. I was working about 50 hours a week. I was going to Oklahoma State, 18 hours a week. My father-in-law had just passed away, and I was getting ready to move 2 hours south to be with my fiance, but I didn't know how on earth I was going to do that because I was working so much, and so I was driving back and forth like 2 hours back and forth like 3 times a week because I just wanted to see him and stuff, and so much was going on. I was also planning a wedding that was going to be in August. So after his dad passed away, we actually changed our wedding date to October because things were just so crazy. When I started, I enrolled under Courtney Bohr, and I enrolled at I think it was like 10 o'clock one night. And I just knew, I followed her on Instagram for almost a year. She started in April of 2014. And I didn't comment or anything about being a distributor or anything about that until almost a year, And as soon as I commented, I'm like, I can do that. I commented and told her to email me, and I signed up right then. I watched her for a year. I was like, if a 20-year-old can make that kind of income, why can't I? But really, I just wanted an extra $300 so that I wouldn't have to work so much overtime and I could spend more time with my fiance and not have to drive back and forth so much. $300, that's all I wanted. And at the time, the Ruby bonus was $1,000, and I'm like, I can so get that bonus. Ruby was my mindset, and I had no idea that I would even think about diamond, think about presidential diamond, or being at the top of this company. I had no idea. But when I started posting the next day. I'd watched Courtney enough that I knew how she posted, and I kind of just mimicked what she did. I made it my own post, or my own selfies, my own products, all that stuff, but I watched what she did. I watched how she worded stuff, and I just followed her lead. I just mimicked what she did. I posted, and probably way more than my 3 for 3, when I first started. In the first week, I enrolled 22 loyal customers, and I went diamond in my first 30 days. What made me do that? I did have a pretty big market. I did have about 1,200, well, it's about 12 to 1,500 followers on Instagram already, and I had a lot of Facebook friends. We traveled a lot with competitive dance and sports and 4-H and different things growing up, so I know a lot of people. But I think what helped me too was I started with social media. I built my whole business with social media and working from my phone. But I wrote down people that I knew and friends and family that I knew that would do me a favor. And I wrote all of their names down. It was like 50 something people, just the people I could think of off the top of my head. And I'm like, hey, how are you? Like, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I just joined this business with It Works Global, and I'm so excited about it. I need some product testers for my portfolio. Would you be interested in participating in a 90-day challenge for me? I can give you my 40% discount, and we have over 30 different products that I know you would love. Would you be interested in helping me out? I sent that message, and I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people that were willing to do me a favor. A lot of people that were willing to help me build my portfolio and help me get going with this business. But all of my distributors and all the people that I started with on my team were all from posting. Not once did I have the mindset of, gosh, I am too busy for this. Or, I just have so much going on. I have to study tonight, or I have class, or, I have to work. It was never my mindset, not once. I just, I don't know why. It was just never, I never thought I was too busy for this. I honestly had so much fun with it. I had so much fun sitting up late and talking to customers or helping distributors join my team. I would get up, 30 to 45 minutes earlier than normal so that I could answer my teammates' questions. And I would get up, or I would stay up a couple hours later than I normally would so that I could answer questions and get distributors started and stuff. I didn't want to have to wait till the next day. And another thing that really helped me was scheduling my posts out. I would put my phone on airplane mode, schedule my Instagram posts for the day, so the only thing I did is have to hit the little button that posts on Instagram. That's how I posted so much while I was working. And then if on my lunch break, a lot of the time is I would take some of those posts if I wasn't able to post on Facebook as much as I did Instagram, then I would copy and paste from Instagram and post into my Facebook. I would do a whole separate page, not share from Instagram, but I would copy my wording and post it into Facebook so that both people, like both social media accounts, people were seeing my posts. And you have to know timing of your posts. When are people engaged in your posts? When are people participating in your posts? You know, is it noon? Is it 5 o'clock when people are getting off work? Is it 7 or 8 o'clock when people are getting done with dinner? Is it 7:30 before people are going to work? You have to know when to post, and it's going to make everything a whole lot easier for you. But I have a really hard time sympathizing with people saying, I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I was working 50 hours a week, working weekends, going to Oklahoma State, working for my management degree in business, 18 hours a week. I was working overtime. I was planning a wedding. My father-in-law just passed away, and I was driving 2 hours back and forth so that I could be where I needed to be and also be there for my fiance at the time. There was so much going on in my life, but that pushed me. That made me want this even more. You know, when I went diamond in 30 days, I'm like, man, this is going to change my life. Like, I had no idea I was going to be able to go diamond in 30 days. But when I did, I'm like, oh my gosh. When I went ruby in my first 2 weeks, that was my aha moment. That was like, I just went diamond in 2 weeks. Like, my goal was $1,000 bonus, and I did it in 2 weeks. Like, what else can I do? And so I went diamond in 30 days. I went double diamond in 60 days, triple diamond in 90 days, and presidential diamond in 4 months. And if things go as they're planned, I will hopefully promote to ambassador diamond in January or February. And that's less than a year with this company. But I worked so hard I did not quit my full-time job till I went presidential diamond. So 4 months into this business, okay, that's really soon and you still don't have that mindset of, oh my gosh, this is real. Oh my gosh, I'm making that kind of income. I can quit my full-time job. I went presidential diamond and I quit the following week. You know, I was like, this is retarded. You know, this is stupid. I'm making this kind of income and I'm still working an 8 to 5 job. But it wasn't until then that I trusted myself to be able to quit my full-time job. So my deal for you guys is, if your excuse is, and I'm not saying everybody's is an excuse because everybody has life-altering things that happen and that slow their business down. But if you're using your why as your excuse, then we've got to change that. Your mindset has to be positive. You can't let your why become your excuse. So if you started this business to be able to provide for your kids, and then now you're saying, I just don't get to spend time with my kids enough because I'm always on my phone. That's an excuse. You started this business because you wanted to spend more time with your kids, and now that's your excuse. Or I started this business so that I could maybe work part-time, or maybe I could retire and spend more time with my family. Now it is, I am too busy working my full-time job. I can't post every day, so I just can't do this business. Now it's your excuse. Your why has to be so important to you that it won't become your excuse. So my deal was I didn't want to work so much. I wanted to replace that overtime I was making so that I didn't have to work weekends. I had no idea I could quit my full-time job. What turned into just wanting not to work overtimes and work weekends, I was able to retire at 25 years old, but that's because I didn't let that become my excuse. Oh, I'm working overtime. I'm working so much. I can't post on social media and I can't talk to people. No, that was not my deal at all. So when people come to me and they're like, I am spending too much time on my phone. You know, I'm not giving my kids attention. I'm not getting to spend time with my family. Okay, so I want you to think about this. Are you able to spend time with your family when you're working 8 to 5? Are you being able to spend time with your family when you've worked so much and you're so mentally exhausted when you get home that you can't be intrigued by them and you can't spend time with them and you can't play with them and you can't mentally invest in them? It's so much more than just busy. I mean, this business, yeah, it's work, but it's easy work. I love talking to people. I love texting people. I love posting on social media and sharing my story, and I love inspiring people. But it doesn't matter how busy you are, because eventually if you post and you are consistent and you lead by example and you let people coach you and you let people help you, then you're going to have so much more time. Now, you know, I was working 50 hours a week and I didn't want to work overtime. I wanted to work 40 hours a week. I didn't want to work an extra 10. But now I have all day, every day to invest in my team. I have all day, every day to invest in my family. You know, I have all day to run errands. I have all day to make videos and inspire my team and push my team. My why never became my excuse. So it doesn't matter how busy you are. When you start with It Works Global, jump through the doors as fast as you can and get going. Do not let your momentum stop. That's one thing that I've been so passionate about and so set on, is not letting my momentum stop. You know, if you slow down in your business, it's so hard to get that momentum back. Jump through the doors and push as hard as you can. Think of every single person that you could talk to, that you could get to join your team, that you could get to sign up as a customer. Because there's so many people, you might be so scared to reach out to people that you know because you're scared of rejection. They're not handing you a paycheck, and you'd be surprised the people that are willing to support you when you set that fear aside. And then there's nothing wrong with reaching out to your friends and your family and people that you know and say, hey, I just started this business. I'm working on $1,000 or a $500 bonus. We're looking for a $2,000 income. You need to get with me on this journey. I'm about to change so many lives, and I want you to be the first person with me. There's nothing wrong with that. If you can get people on your team that you trust and that trust you, you'll be lifelong business partners. You'll be lifelong teammates. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to post. Don't be afraid to be consistent. This is your life. And if they don't support you, then you don't need them in your life. They're not writing you a paycheck. They're not putting food on your table. They're not putting gas in your tank. You have to want this for you and for your family. Do not let being too busy become your excuse. Don't let the fact that you can't spend enough time with your family become your excuse, because eventually you're going to have so much time with your family. You're going to get to own your time, and you're going to be where you don't have to go to work 8 to 5. You're going to be able to spend so much more time with your kids. Even if you got to go part-time, just jump through the doors and go full force when you first sign up. And you're not even going to have time to think about being discouraged. You're not going to even have time to think about the slow season. You're not going to have time to think about what's not happening, because you're so focused on what is happening. You don't have time to think about those things. So it doesn't matter how busy you are. Schedule your posts out. Post every single day. Stay consistent. Stay consistent with your follow-ups. Be driven enough that if you have to stay up an extra 30 minutes or stay up an extra hour, you're going to be willing to do that, because that work is going to pay off. Never let your why become your excuse. Because if I would have let being too busy, my father-in-law passing away, my driving too much, all those things become my excuse, I would have never been able to quit my full-time job. I would have never been able to pay for my tuition out of pocket. I would have never been able to move 2 hours south and be able to afford everything that we can afford now. Your life will change if you make sure that your why is so, so important to you that it will never become your excuse, okay? So I just wanted to get that, kind of talk about that for a little while, is people's whys becoming their excuse. And if you just jump full force and you jump in with a strong head and you're so motivated and you're coachable, you will be successful in this business. I promise you. I really wish all of you the best. I know you're all so, so awesome. If I can help you guys in any way, just let me know. But seriously, you guys are going to rock 2016. But just put that in your binder. Put it somewhere. My why will not become my excuse. And I promise you guys, you'll be successful. Thank you guys. Bye.